How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Some idea.
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
Well, hey guys, I'm a little early today, and we're gonna have a little talk. It's gonna be one of these. It's gonna be one of these things where every 3 to 6 months I break down online and I talk about all the reasons why I'm breaking down online. And to get the main question out of the way, Karlyn, are you gonna quit covering the left? No, I'm not gonna quit covering the left. That's not gonna happen. But that's not what this is about. And so everyone who wants me to continue to cover the left, don't worry, I'm not quitting that. I have no intention of quitting that. But there are other things that relate to my ability to do that we're going to talk about because so I don't want to freak anyone out to think I'm quitting covering the left. I'm not quitting that. That's not what I'm done with. Although it certainly doesn't actually help. Hey, thanks to you ladies. Hang in there, fearless leader, you're appreciated. I mean, I don't think I'm appreciated, man. Well, that's not true. I think I'm very much appreciated by people in this community. I think there are people. Okay. I'm gonna try my best to not be like everything is awful and everyone sucks, because that's just not true. I'm very lucky and very blessed that I have thousands of people who support the work I do, either by sharing it or making donations or coming to streams or sharing my content in their communities or all buying my books, all that stuff. And I'm very blessed. I have more support than most people who operate independently. And so I know there are people who appreciate what I do. And that's why I'm never going to quit covering the left. That's not what this is about. But I just need to talk, man, because like I've fucking had it with the internet. I have fucking had it. I have just fucking had it. And this is part of the problem, right? Because and I'm just going to talk and I'm just going to be real with you guys about I'm just going to be real. I think part of the challenge of what I do is actually that I do care about it. I am obsessed with this. I actually do care about this. I care about figuring out what went wrong. I care about analyzing the psychology of the situation to figure out why this happened, what they're going to do next, what their behaviors are. this to me, like covering the left for me, is like constantly putting together a big puzzle. And I loved puzzles growing up. And it's constantly putting together a big puzzle in which, you know, we just keep finding more and more and more pieces to the puzzle. And we get to put together information that no one else has put together in the way that I in this community have. And, you know, and the thing of it is I can't even say that. I can't even say that. Even though that is the truth. I have searched for years for people who are doing what I'm doing. I have asked probably hundreds of times on the internet, is there anyone else doing this? Is there anyone else doing this? Is there anyone else doing this? I have, you guys don't know this, I have sent so many emails to people, like prominent people that you would know, that pretend to care about this shit online. Is there anyone else doing something like this? Can we talk about this? Is there anyone else doing something? Like, it's just like the massive search that I have been on for years to try to find other people who are doing this. You guys have no fucking idea. And I've always said, if anyone else is doing what I'm doing, please tell me who they are. And there is no answer. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There may be people who cover some aspects of the left, but even those people can't be trusted because most of those people can be bought for the highest dollar. Because most people are not as lucky as I am to have so many independent supporters. And I can't even say on the internet, listen, man, I'm the only fucking person doing this. I'm literally the only person doing this. Because then the response that I get back is, you think you're better than everyone else. You think you know everything. You think that everyone needs to do something your way. And you're an awful person. And you're fat and ugly. And why don't you shut the fuck up? No one cares what you have to say. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're retarded. Why aren't you telling us what we want to hear? The left is lazy and narcissistic. They don't have jobs. Why don't you shut the fuck up? No one cares what you have to say. You don't know what you're talking about. We know everything about what we're talking about. It's over and over and over and over and over again, and it is constant. It is constant. It is every day. It is multiple times every day. And it's only gotten worse lately. It hasn't gotten better. It's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. I honestly can't thank you enough, Karlyn, for helping me and my daughters to understand the language. It's more valuable than most people realize. I mean, and it's things like this that keep me doing this, honestly. I cannot tell you guys how bad it's gotten in the last year. I cannot tell you how bad it's gotten with the toxicity and the constant insults, and the constant berating. And I kind of hit a breaking point today where I was just like, nah, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And it's not a matter of, am I going to continue to cover the left? Because I'm absolutely going to continue to cover the left. But I need to rethink how I'm doing this. And, you know, it really might just be that I just need to leave Twitter. That really might be it. That really might be it. And when I say leave Twitter, there still have to be ways for me to share my work on Twitter because it's the only media platform that journalists care about. And so we have to share it there because it's the only fucking platform that journalists care about. If it doesn't happen on Twitter, it doesn't happen. And so there has to be a thing there. But like, maybe that is what it is. I don't know. But like the toxicity that I have experienced in the last year or so has only gotten more and more severe. And most of the toxicity is coming from Twitter. And I just don't understand. I don't understand. You know, I had an interview with the Catholic priest earlier today, Father Mateague. Father Mateague has a radio show, The Catholic Current. And this is the second time that Father Mateague has had me on his show. And I totally forgot about this interview today. I woke up, I'd had a shitty day. I woke up, I kind of like snapped, and like I just snapped this morning when I was in bed. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm like laying in bed looking at the ceiling. I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And then I get up, and then I go and I sit down at my desk, and I've got a notification. Reminder, you have an interview at 1 p.m. with Father Mateague. And I was like, oh shit. Of all days for me to do an interview with the Catholic priest, it was like today. I was like, and it was mostly because the end of the month snuck up on me and I forgot that it was the 28th, and I knew I'd scheduled this interview with him like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh shit, well, I guess I better have some coffee and talk to the Catholic priest. That'll be a great way to start my day. But I say that like actually kind of being serious, because talking to Father Mateague is awesome. I definitely recommend, if you guys didn't hear my last interview with him, it was maybe a couple months ago or something like that. Go to his website, the Catholic Current, I think is the name of it. I can find it. So I'm sure Reagan has the link. And she always has the links for things. But the last interview I had with him was great, and the interview that I had with him today, which will air next Tuesday. It's not going to air today. It's going to air next Tuesday because he's responsible and he records things in advance. It was just awesome. I was a little nervous because right before the interview, his producer emailed me a Substack article about the church shooter. And I open up the Substack article, and what does the Substack article say? It was reporting on Andy Ngo's coverage, trying to say that the Catholic church shooter was a leftist. And it actually had the Bashback magazine cover in it. And the minute I saw that, I was like, oh no. You mean to tell me I'm gonna have to gently explain to a Catholic priest that Andy Ngo is lying? Oh no. Because I do try to be very respectful when I'm on that show. He's a Catholic priest, okay? I'm not going to be swearing on that show. I'm not going to be attacking the church. I'm not going to be doing any of those things. He's a Catholic priest. You got to be respectful. And so I was like, oh, shit. How am I going to navigate this? Hey, Father, do you know that most of the conservative media sphere is lying to you every single day to shill a narrative, and Andy Ngo is now lying to shill a narrative, and doesn't that suck? Yeah, it really sucks. And so I'm playing out all this stuff in my head. Like, how do I talk about this? How do I talk about this while being nuanced and having the type of tone that I need to have to be talking to Catholic priests on his radio show, okay? Yeah, forgive me, Father, I'm about to sin. Yeah, exactly. And so then I get on to the interview. And do you know what Father Mateague said to me? He said, Karlyn, I watched your stream yesterday where you broke down the manifesto, and I think you're absolutely right, and I don't think this person is a leftist. So first of all, can we talk about the fact that, listen, I love that Father Mateague is watching my work. Maybe I'm a little self-conscious about yelling and swearing so much if I know a Catholic priest is watching and actually listening to what I'm saying. I was like, oh man, yesterday was not a good stream to watch to get points in the Catholic department. But it was also just honestly awesome. Because one of the things, you know, people might say, Karlyn, why are you talking to a Catholic priest? You're not Catholic. You don't even believe Christianity is real. You think it's a Jewish psyop. Why are you talking to a Catholic priest? Do you know why I will always talk to Father Mateague? Because Father Mateague doesn't care that I am not a member of the church. He respects my work. He is kind. He asks inquisitive questions. he genuinely wants his audience to understand. He actually allows me to go into the weeds a little bit on things and really kind of just like explain it. He listens. Like, it's like the best interview I ever get to have. Because I wish I could do interviews all the time. Like that. And it's just such a sharp contrast to the day-to-day interactions that I have on the internet, where the only thing that like really seems to matter to anyone is how I look and how much I weigh. And it really does fuck with you after a while when the vast majority of comments that you get from people, and many of those people are pretending to be Catholic, by the way, because it mostly comes from the Groypers. But it comes from other places too. When the vast majority of things that people respond to you with every single day are "you're fat, you're ugly, you're fat, you're ugly, you're fat, you're ugly, get the fuck off the internet," calling you every single name, being as cruel as humanly possible, not caring about the truth, spreading lies, spreading smear campaigns, whining that you know more than they do. Like it's just like, people who have entire accounts dedicated to just bullying and harassing me. People who have on their phone hundreds of AI pictures that they've made of me at the ready. People who and there's nothing I can say and there's nothing I can do about it. You know? Thanks, okay. I appreciate you. It's good to see you. And you know, it's not actually really even about my weight or my looks, right? Because if I lost all the weight, which I could do if I wanted to, but like, what is even the fucking point? Because I don't care about how much I weigh. My husband doesn't care about how much I weigh, but apparently everyone on the internet fucking does. And even if I lost all the weight, it still wouldn't matter. It would be something else. It would be something. Oh, Karlyn, your teeth aren't perfect. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like do you know your teeth aren't perfect because you didn't wear the retainer growing up? Oh yeah, okay. It's like, can we please have a conversation about something that fucking matters? Can we please have a conversation about something that fucking matters? Yeah, your makeup is too heavy. Why do you wear too much eye makeup? It's like it's constant. If it wasn't one thing, it would be another thing, man. Who raised these people? Who raised these people? Listen, I can be a bitch on the internet. God knows. I can be a bitch on the internet. Absolutely. And I don't shy away when people attack me. But there is a difference between this is a real situation. If I have someone that literally runs multiple accounts where all they're doing is stalking and harassing me, who has dozens or hundreds of pictures of me on their phone, has created a massive AI library of pictures of me to make me look fat and ugly on the internet, and all they do is post about me all the time, if that person comes at me, yeah, I'm going to call them a fat, ugly, evil cunt. But in that case, they're the ones that are attacking me, and I'm defending myself. No. You want a great way to get banned from my chat? Tell me to shut the fuck up. I appreciate that you like me, but this is exactly you do not tell me to shut the fuck up in my own chat. You don't fucking do that. You're getting put in a timeout. You ever do that again, you're going to be permanently banned from my channel. You know, this is the question, actually. This is part of the question. This is part of the question. What purpose does it serve? The only purpose it really does serve for me at this point is that it is the only platform that matters for the media. So it's not as though I can leave it entirely. I can't leave it entirely. I cannot. Because, you know, listen, man, we have all these different accounts. Like, we've worked hard to build up, like, these different accounts to have access to people. It is a good way to share information. But in regards to just, like what I'm going to tolerate anymore, or the amount that I'm going to be interacting with people on there, it's not going to happen. What was I saying before I was rudely interrupted by someone in my own chat telling me to shut the fuck up? What was I saying? No, Twitter is not the public square. No. Twitter is not. Oh, what was I saying? Hey, Mark, I was just thinking about you the other day. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. So I was saying there's a difference between insulting someone when you're defending yourself from attacks against that person and just proactively attacking people just because. Who in God's name is raising their kids to believe that if someone says something you don't like, the appropriate response is to tell them, you're fat and ugly and stupid and kill yourself and get off the internet, you stupid dumb bitch? I'm not talking about someone that's attacked you. I'm talking about someone expressing an opinion on the internet that you don't like. And by the way, this is not just on Twitter. Twitter is just the most pronounced place it is. I've seen this on YouTube over and over and over again. I've seen this other places. Who the fuck raises their kids to believe that if someone says something that you don't like or that you don't agree with, the appropriate response is, you're fat and ugly and shut the fuck up and kill yourself, you stupid dumb bitch? Like, honestly. Who raises their kids to believe that that's appropriate behavior? And I'm sorry, I personally, maybe it's because I'm old, I personally don't distinguish between appropriate behavior on the internet and appropriate behavior in real life. If you wouldn't do something in real life, don't fucking do it on the internet. There is not a thing that I've ever said or done on the internet that I would not say or do in real life. If you came and attacked me, I would call you a stupid, dumb, fat cunt in real life. If I have something to say to you, I would say it to your face just as easily as I would say it online. And if I wouldn't do that in person, then I'm not going to behave that way online. It is mind-boggling to me that people believe that this is appropriate behavior, and especially when those people also profess to be good Christians. Thank you, Marty. You're beautiful. Don't listen to the haters. You got such a great vibe. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I need to change the way that I'm using these tools that I have, because I have so much I want to do. I have so many projects underway right now, and I really do believe that they're good and important projects because I'm the only fucking person doing this shit. Are you serious? Kino, I didn't know this. I'm both a father and stepfather now. Your work and friendship have prepared me, my soon-to-be wife, and I how to school educate, and protect our children. Thank you. You're a father? You're getting married? Congratulations, my friend. I really do mean that. I'm very happy for you. It's crazy how long I've known some of my supporters. It's crazy how long some people have supported my work. It's crazy. I've known Kino for... How long have I known Kino? Like 5 years? Something like that. I've met him in person. We hung out at Porkfest. He's a great guy. 2020, since 2020. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know, that's part of why I will never quit doing this, the covering the left stuff. Because again, I do know that I have so many people who've been around for so long, and I have so many people who believe in what I do, and I know that for many people like that support my work, you can't show up for every stream I do, because I stream too fucking much. I'm gonna get an invite to the wedding? Alright, well that makes me happy. But I always know if I do a stream like this, you guys are gonna show up. Is the thing. People might, there are what, 233 people? Where the fuck are you guys every day at 5 o'clock? I always know that if I do a stream like this where I'm like, fuck this shit, everyone's gonna show up. Everyone that I never hear from is gonna show up. All the people who stop coming to streams are gonna show up. They're gonna be like, Karlyn, what happened? Your work is so important and so meaningful. I'm like, fuck you, assholes. It's the car crash effect. It's the car crash effect. But no, I know that there are a lot of people who watch and interact with my work that don't do it live, that don't chat in. I am aware of that. I wish you guys would make yourself more known, though. I wish you would comment on more things. Because here's the thing. If I had more people, like, if I had the amount of people who actually support my work commenting on things, it would drown out the losers who I just hear from all the time. So, like, it's okay to make yourself known. My God. You've been gymming 2 to 3 hours a day this whole summer? Well, good for you. Good for you. So I've been thinking about how do I need to change things in order to make this a more tenable situation, because like I cannot be around this shit anymore. I cannot be around this shit anymore. Other Jenny, appreciate you. Keep going, Dr. K. Your work is helping me help my college-age kid decode her classes and understand how to act the part for the grade. Wow. That's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. Thank you for that. There's so much that I want to do. There's so many projects that I want to be able to spend my time on. And I've been saying this, I've been working all year to build up the tools and the infrastructure to be able to do the things I want to do. And now I kind of think that the last step of this is I need to figure out how to structure my days and how in a way that allows me to have the energy to do those projects, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'll talk more about that. Sending my reparative energy to you. I hope your day goes 10 times better. Take some time off with hubby and grab an ice cream. Well, yeah, I am actually probably like one of the reasons I went live today early is I do just want to maybe take today. I don't want to do a 5 p.m. stream today. I might take tomorrow too. And I do just want to create like I'm going to come back on Friday. We're going to do happy hour on Friday for sure. And we're going to do Saturday, obviously. But I want to just like have some time maybe today and tomorrow to just really quiet everything out and see this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I want to be able to take some quiet time today and tomorrow, and I'm pulling up Twitter right now to block this guy because we're about to go on a massive blocking spree on Twitter, the likes of which people have never seen. And this asshole's going to be having feelings in my chat until I block him, and he's probably going to have more feelings now that I'm saying I'm going to block him. But it takes Twitter a minute to load. So I need to figure out how to structure my days and my time so that I don't see this shit anymore. And, you know, I unblocked a lot of people a couple months ago. And that's going to be turning around very, very quickly. Like the block list is getting built again. And, you know, listen, I think that unblocking people every once in a while is a good exercise because sometimes you block people over stupid tiffs or things like that. But if people are just going to be overtly toxic, just block. Hang on, I'm getting into this guy's Twitter profile now. I'm just going to block it. This takes freaking forever to load on this browser. The Groypers are being especially antagonistic. See, here he's still going. See, that's what I told you was going to happen. But now he's getting muted in the chat. And now he's getting blocked. And we'll never hear from him again. Because he's a sad, pathetic, miserable person that needs to make everyone else feel bad to be at his level. There we go. He's blocked. Goodbye. He is blocked. Goodbye. You mean a lot to me and appreciate your much needed perspective. Also, as a former Mormon missionary, ignore the dumbass Christians. Yeah. Yep. Well, maybe there are. Maybe that's true. But, you know, I don't hear from those Groypers all that much. And so it's one of the things, guys, where the loudest voices in your... This is what I've always said to you guys. The loudest voices in your community are going to win. There may be Groypers that like me, and I know that there are. And while I appreciate that, the only Groypers that I ever hear from are the same ones that are saying, you're fat, you're ugly, shut the fuck up, kill yourself, get the fuck off the internet, you fat, dumb bitch. That's who I hear from. Constantly and overwhelmingly. Every single day. And so, at some point, that's going to create an impression. And that impression is going to be extrapolated out to the group because there's no one contradicting it. And so I appreciate the Groypers that like me. I appreciate the Groypers that don't do that. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not Wignats posing as Groypers. There are people who pose as Groypers to cause problems for the Groypers. That's true. I spent enough time hanging out with the Groypers over the course of a couple years that I am able to identify who is a Groyper and who is not a Groyper. I know exactly how to do it. Because you're right, there are people who pretend to be Groypers. But I'm talking about Groypers that I know are Groypers. And fucking Wurzelroot was just doing it yesterday. So don't tell me Wurzelroot isn't a fucking Groyper. Wurzelroot spins this shit up all the fucking time. And I don't want to deal with it anymore. Let me see. I'm just going down the chat. What can those of us that can attend every that can't I think you mean can't attend that can't attend every live do to help besides monetary support? Well, obviously monetary support is always nice, but I think that the biggest, and I appreciate you asking this question, Mark. I think the biggest thing that you guys can do to help if you can't attend live streams is make sure you're sharing the content, make sure you're liking the content, commenting on the content, even if you're just like going in and saying comment or helping the algorithm or something like that, because that stuff really does help. And like even just liking the video, like that gets YouTube to serve it to more people. It makes sure it shows up in the algorithm, stuff like that. So if you can't attend every live stream, which I totally understand because I stream a lot, that's fine, but they're just sharing it and other things like that really do help. Let's see. Wow, my boobs looked really big in that, didn't they? It didn't even look like me. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But it is not just the groypers, and I should be very clear about that. It's not just the groypers. I don't want to make it seem like I think a lot of people make the groypers out to be the ultimate evil when I think the groypers are a manifestation of what they what they have to deal with as well. And I don't think that the only toxicity on the internet comes from the groypers. I think it comes from a lot of different places. I think that it sometimes they're groypers, sometimes they're wignats, sometimes they're classical liberals, sometimes they're see, Wurzelroot's being upset. Oh no, Wurzelroot's about to get blocked. Oh no, Wurzelroot's gonna get blocked. Oh no. Oh no, Wurzelroot's upset and complaining. Oh no. We'll deal with that. Hey, I appreciate that. But to the point I just made, do you see what's happening? Do you see? New school, I'm not a yes man. I'm not in your cult. I do not agree with you 100% of the time, but I do believe the work you are doing is important and not done by anyone else. I appreciate that. Oh, see, now Wurzelroot is saying this is like a woke communist. No, Wurz. No, it's not. No, it's not. Well, Wurzelroot, you're not in a free speech zone. You're in my chat on Twitter, which I don't actually have to allow you to be in. So, and I'm going to be taking away your ability to do that expeditiously. It just takes a second to load when I'm streaming, but then we get in and we go like this. We go hide. And then we block. And then I never have to hear from it again, and I never have to deal with Wurzelroot coming into my comments to spin up every one of his followers to insult me for saying something that he doesn't want to hear. Goodbye, Wurzelroot, blocked. There we go. Isn't that nice? We don't have to deal with that anymore. Losers on X saying you need to hold yourself accountable, translating to you have to let me harass. See, this is exactly it. You need accountability. No, I don't. I don't need accountability to you. I don't need accountability to you. I don't need accountability to you at all. Who the fuck are you to hold me accountable? When the fuck did I agree? Oh, I didn't? Okay. And it's like people who make these comments about like, you don't believe in free speech because you're blocking me from harassing you. It's like, I'm not the government, bitch. And oh. So a woman who sides with toxic bigots is upset when she's attacked by toxic bigots. Bye. Enjoy your band. Bye. They come here every day. The same people. New accounts has picked up recently. Must really be, yeah. And people who are regulars can actually see this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Actually, you know what? That's actually in favor of me. I don't mind that so much. I misread that. I was about ready to make fun of you, Greg. I appreciate that. Yeah, they have no self-awareness. They have no self-awareness. They place themselves as the bastions of Catholicism. But when I talk to the actual Catholic priest is much, 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 much nicer and kinder to me than the groypers have ever been. And again, going back to the Catholic priest conversation I had earlier, it's like it was a reminder of what could have been. It was a reminder of how it should be. It's like why is it that I can sit down and have a nuanced and thoughtful conversation with a Catholic priest when obviously we have things we don't agree on, and not get insulted, and to just have an exchange of ideas that's nice and calm and nuanced and pragmatic and actually intellectually stimulating. But the so-called Catholics that I interact the most act like unhinged fuck-off retards. It scares me to death how the groypers are going to raise their kids. Are the groypers really going to raise their kids to believe that this is how you treat people? Oh, and let me show you this, too. Let me show you this. This was another thing this morning. This is another thing this morning that I was just like, I fucking had it. Did anyone see this? Andrew Wilson is advocating for young girls to get raped and telling men not to protect them. Andrew Wilson is advocating for young girls to be raped and have men not protect them. And the amount of people that agree with him is astonishing. Wesley, thank you for the super chat. Sis from a very flawed Dutch Christian trying to do better every day. Thank you for true journalism about the far left. You will be remembered. Well, I don't know about that, Wesley, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you. It's not just that Andrew Wilson is an obvious asshole. It's how many people agree with him that I have the issue with. And I run into this all the time. Where, the women-hating men on the internet will say, we hate women for X, Y, B, and Z. And I'm kind of receptive to that because I've always been a tomboy. I've always hung out with the boys. I've always hated women probably just as much as they do. And so, it kind of starts off with, we hate women for X, Y, B, and Z. And I'm like, you know what? Those are actually, some legitimate grievances. And then, sometimes they point out, well, Karlyn, you do this like women do, and we don't like that. And, there have been actually some legitimate things that I've thought about in terms of, okay, so for example, if you're having a conversation about race, right? like the people who are having conversations about race, they're talking about racial groups as a general category. And if you come in and say, I know this one smart black person, okay, that's an exception to the rule. It doesn't disprove the rule. And so like, and I absolutely did do that. And then I had someone say that to me. I was like, Karlyn, do you understand what you're doing? And this is like why it's annoying. I'm like, you know what? Actually, that's legit. Actually, that's actually a legitimate grievance. Okay, I understand that. And so then I'm like, okay, so I've got to like work on how I'm framing this. And I don't necessarily think this is a woman thing because men do it as well. But you know what? Listen, regardless of whether or not men do it, it doesn't actually really matter. I'm going to like, that's a legitimate grievance. And so if someone's making a point about a group demographic and I come in and I go, well, what about this? What about that? What about that other thing? But I'm talking about exceptions to the rule. That's actually something that I can understand why that would be annoying to people. All right. So I do that and I fix that and I don't do that anymore. And then there are other maybe legitimate grievances. Like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about, okay, those are fair. But you know what I've realized about this situation is it doesn't actually fucking matter. What I say and do in these communities doesn't actually fucking matter. Because it will never be enough to overcome the fact that I am indeed a woman. At the end of the day, no matter how much I acquiesce to these women-hating individuals, no matter how submissive I make myself when I'm in their spaces, no matter how much I listen to them and try to incorporate what I think are legitimate grievances into my process and my behaviors towards them, because I have no problem trying to acclimate to group norms, but what I've come to realize is it will never be fucking enough because I'm still a woman and I will still be attacked and hated for being a woman that dares to say, here is what I think. You know, I've seen this happen in the CQ spaces, to be honest. And listen. There are a lot of people in the CQ spaces that I actually do like. And I think the conversation in the CQ spaces a lot of times is so interesting. And I've actually gotten into great one-on-one dialogues with people in the CQ spaces. And I do think, by and large, many of the people in the CQ spaces do have some level of respect for me. But even then, it's like, as soon as I say something, there will always be people in those spaces who just hate women. And if you're a woman and you are speaking, you will be attacked. And they will smear you and they will lie about you. I just got into it yesterday with some bitch in the CQ spaces. I'm not going to go into the details of what happened, but there's actually some dumb cunt that's in the CQ spaces that has shit all over her timeline about me. That where did she get it from? She got it from Frank McCormick, who is a classical liberal queer. But she's going to expose the woman who's daring to speak up in the CQ spaces. There's other people too. People send me screenshots from Big Tech's chat when he's live streaming the spaces when I speak up. They send me screenshots of people shit-talking me in his chat. And listen, I'm not blaming Big Tech for that. He can't control what people say in his chat. And I'm not, like, and he more or less doesn't actually shit-talk me as much, not nearly as much as he used to. He like, I'm not blaming him. I'm saying that I can see what people are saying in his chat every time I dare open my mouth. And it's kind of like, you know what? There's nothing that I can do for you fucking people. It's nothing I can do. I am a woman. It is what it is. That's not going to change. And if every time I open my mouth or every time I try to participate in something, I'm just going to be attacked, fine, I don't have to be there. I don't have to be there, and that's fine. Because I have a lot of stuff I need to do and a lot of stuff I need to work on. And, I don't know. It's just, so frustrating when all I'm trying to do is show people what the left is actually doing using their own evidence. And every single thing is a fight. Every single conversation is a fight. Every single post is a fight. Every single clip is a fight. Every single person expects me to coddle their feelings when I promise you guys, there's not a single fucking person that's taking care of my feelings. Whose job is it on the internet to coddle my feelings? Whose job is it on the internet to coddle my feelings? It's no one's job. But it's my job to coddle your fucking feelings? Okay. And all these people who show up all the time and are always complaining about the left and are always the first people to insult me, do they ever share my work? No. Do they ever acknowledge the things that I've done? That fucking cunt in the CQ chat yesterday, she was saying, she was doing the typical thing that they do, which is she's calling me a pedophile and saying, you support pedophilia. And what I wanted to say to her, I wanted to be like, you stupid fucking cunt. Have you ever actually looked at what I've spent the last several years doing? Because I have exposed more fucking grooming in the public schools than almost any other independent journalist in the country. So if I really was so supportive of pedophilia, would I have spent so much time digging into situations to expose more grooming in schools than almost any other independent journalist in the country? Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. That should actually be my response every time someone says, you're a pedophile supporter. Do they ever look at the situations that I have put myself in to cover these topics? Do they ever consider the content that I have gotten national media attention on that no one would have fucking known about if I hadn't dug down a rabbit hole and found it? Do they ever even acknowledge any of it? No. All they want to do is spread rumors and lies and smear campaigns and all this fucking shit. And again, it is constant. It is every day. See? Here's one right here. Your husband was arrested for having child pornography. Was he? Was he? Can you find me a record for Viktor Borysenko, my husband, getting arrested for having child pornography? We're going to wait. We're going to hold off on banning you. We are going to ban you. But I would like you, before we ban you, to tell us where we can find a record of Viktor Borysenko, who is my husband, my only husband, who you assholes have accused of being a pedophile all over the fucking internet because you don't know the difference between the name Aaron Brown and Viktor Borysenko. Are you fucking retarded? And this is the people who are driving the conversations. These are the assholes who are driving every conversation like cowardly little fucking bitches from behind an anonymous account. So where's your evidence? Where's your evidence, internet warrior? Where is your evidence that my husband, the only man I've ever been married to, whose name is Viktor Borysenko, has ever been arrested for child pornography? And how fucking stupid are you that you have spread lies about someone who has literally never been involved with any of this because you can't tell the difference between the name Aaron Brown and Victor Borysenko, and you are a fucking retard if you do not understand why I'm angry when anonymous assholes on the internet continue to smear the man I am married to because they have nothing else to fucking do with their lives. And look what their response is. You should log off. My God. That's every day. That's every day. Literally every day. Yeah, well, let me talk to you about suing for defamation. I could do this, but it would cost me an arm and a leg, and I would never get paid back. So how many people want to donate tens of thousands of dollars to me suing for defamation for anonymous trolls on the internet spreading a smear campaign? Come on, it's time for everyone to open their wallets, send in those super chats. You want to know what's going to happen? No one's going to fucking do it, because it's tens of thousands of dollars that I will never recoup. That's what it's like being on the internet. People will defame you all the time. They will defame your loved ones. And they do it with absolutely no regard for the truth. And that all comes from the right. None of that comes from the left. It all comes from the right. And they do it to get the clip where I'm yelling at them. So they can take the clip where I'm yelling and say, look at this, she's crazy, she's crazy, she's crazy. I promise you, if someone was saying that your husband was a pedophile, you'd fucking yell too. Yeah, thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. The internet has made people monsters, and it's gotten really bad. And what I need to figure out is how do I exist in this space and continue to do the work I want to do and just block out all of the toxicity, or at least a good bit of the toxicity, because I just can't. I just can't. How do I create a community of people who actually just want to have nuanced conversations on these topics and do research into these topics? How do I do that? How do I block out all of the noise? Because I'm not going to lose myself to this. I have watched people. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kazmar. I appreciate that. In the 5+ years I've been doing this, I have watched so many people go insane because they allowed themselves to get sucked into these environments, and they basically allowed themselves to be controlled by these environments. What other voices am I supposed to collaborate with? I'm asking an honest question. Who? Who am I supposed to collaborate with? Who? Thanks, Mitchell. I appreciate you. No. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Well, if I did this, it would basically kill my channel, so that's not going to happen. James Lindsay. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. He's one of the people that's lied about me and spread smear campaigns. See, you know what is instantly disqualifying for me? The minute that someone lies about me and spreads a smear campaign about me is the minute I will never, never collaborate with them. I will never work with them. The only exception to that is if they apologized and took responsibility for what they did, which has never happened. The amount of people I have spread lies and smear campaigns about me who have never apologized, even when it's debunked, even when it's proven wrong, even when they have massive amounts of people in their replies demanding they do it. Not a single apology has ever been given to me. So no. I won't be doing that. No. Yeah, this is definitely true, actually. This is absolutely true. And you know, the crackdowns on so-called anti-Semitic speech is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. There's just going to be more and more censorship. The more censorship there is, the more toxic people are going to become. And, you know, fuck Israel. Like, honestly, like, Israel has completely fucked everything over. No. Orrin McIntyre is a liar and intellectually dishonest asshole. Pete has spread a smear campaign about me. I don't know Academic Agent. I don't have any feelings about Academic Agent. I guess maybe, but Aaron McIntyre, absolutely fuck off not. That dude is an intellectually dishonest fucking liar. And the same with Pete. So no, on both of them. No. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Can I show you guys something? One of the projects that I'm working on, I'm showing you this for a reason. Hang on. Share screen. One of the projects that I'm working on is I want to do this project. Thank you, Wesley. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. One of the projects that I'm working on is I want to do this project where I have monitoring for all of the different academic centers that are pushing out queer and gender research in universities. And I want to give you guys a scale of how big this problem is. So earlier today, I was AIing some research into just the social justice research centers at Columbia University. I've decided that the very best way to do this is I actually just we literally, and this can be something the volunteers for the Center of Left-Wing Studies, you guys can help out with this if you want to. That would actually be a really great project for people to work on. If you want to volunteer, by the way, for the research work that I'm doing, you can go to left-wing hang on, I'll do this because there are people listening right now. So one of the ways you can help, guys, is if you want to, if you can't watch every stream I do and stuff like that, you can volunteer for the Center of Left-Wing Studies, which is my new nonprofit that I'm working on. Go to leftwingstudies.com, click volunteer, follow the instructions, and then you will be able to join the volunteer pool. This is like a very low bar to making sure people actually read instructions and do stuff. So go to leftwingstudies.com, click volunteer, follow the instructions, and that's a great way to help out. But I want to give people an idea of the scale of the problem that we have. So my contention is that a lot of the woke shit, especially around queer Marxism and gender ideology and all that stuff, it's not necessarily just coming in the classroom at the universities. It's coming out of these research centers that are grant funded through the universities. And a lot of people who have never worked in higher education before and don't know higher education, you might not know that these research centers exist, but there's a massive amount of these research centers, and they're all grant funded, and they're all nonprofits, and they're all operating within the university system, but they're not high profile a lot of the time. So a lot of the times people don't even know these places exist. One of the things I want to do is shine a giant spotlight on these places to say, hey, here is where all this crazy shit is coming from. So I've been trying to figure out how to do this because a lot of these research centers, they have weird names. So they're named things that you wouldn't expect. And the way that I think is the best way to go about it is literally just to go university by university and find all of these centers and find all their websites and get on all their mailing lists and set up tracking for all of their YouTube channels and stuff like that. And that's a labor intensive process because we have to go through all the things. But AI can help us with this, and that's really great. Let me show you the scale of this problem. I had AI do a search through Columbia University's website earlier today, and I said, AI, can you make me a list of all of these crazy social justice research centers at Columbia University and give me links to them? Let me show you how many of these exist at one university. Institute for the Study of Sexuality and Gender, the Center for Gender and Sexuality Law, Program for the Study of LGBT Health, Center for the Sexuality and Gender Minority Health Research, Center for the Study of Ethnicity and Race, African American and African Diaspora Studies Department, Institute for Research in African American Studies, Center on African American Religion, Sexual Politics, and Social Justice, Center for Race, Philosophy, and Social Justice, Center for the Study of Social Differences, Center for Justice, Columbia Justice Lab, Center for Intersectionality and Social Policy Studies, the Eric Holder Jr. Initiative for Civil and Political Rights, the Center for Palestine Studies, the Intercultural Resource Center, the Center for Contemporary Critical Thought, the Columbia Labor Lab, Center on Poverty and Social Policy, Center for the Study of Wealth and Inequality, Immigrants' Rights Clinic, Family Defense Clinic, and that's just with one AI search through their website. There may be more than that. AI doesn't get everything correct the first time, so there may actually be more than that. That's one university. Every single one of those centers is grant funded, nonprofit funded to produce social justice research and journals and books and talks and conferences. Every single one of them. And materials that get taught in the classroom. That's one university. There are 4,000 colleges in the United States. And they're not all Columbia University. And they're not all going to have that many. But I tell you guys this to give you guys an idea of the scale of the fucking problem. That's just university research centers. Now think about all the networks of nonprofits, all the networks of mutual aid, every single union. There are more unions than I had any idea. There are a massive amount of unions. And I want to map all this stuff out. I want to map all this stuff. I want to actually create tools and resources that brings all of this information together in one place to say, here is the left that we are fighting. Here is what that is. Because if we don't have a sense of the problem, then we actually can't do anything about it. And constantly, while I'm trying to do this, which is really fucking boring, nuanced, detailed work that involves a lot of reading and a lot of searching and a lot of digging through data, as I'm trying to do this, what I'm getting is, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, why don't you kill yourself, why don't you shut the fuck up, why don't you keep your mouth shut, you stupid fucking woman, women shouldn't be allowed to vote, women shouldn't be allowed to make decisions, why aren't you letting men do this, the fat left is ugly, the fat left is stupid, the left is lazy, the left doesn't have jobs, the left is all narcissistic, this is all narcissistic cluster B personality disorder, you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, why are you so fat, why don't you go to the gym, why don't you eat less food, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, why don't you get the fuck off the internet, why are you even showing your face on the internet? How dare you not be held accountable for every single thing that you say? I'm going to hold you accountable for things you say by calling you fat. No, it is just like, it is enough. Enough. Shut the fuck up. Because of all you're doing is creating absolute toxicity. When I'm trying to actually get shit done, what the fuck is the point? What are you gaining from this? So, I don't know exactly what the answer to this problem is, but I'm thinking a lot about restructuring my work process and my work flow. And I'm going to be spending a lot less time on Twitter. And I know a lot of people interact with me on Twitter, but I just am not going to do it anymore. I can't. And that's not to say I'm going to spend no time on Twitter, because I have to. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. You know, I posted this tweet early today. I'm going to show it to you guys. I posted this earlier. I said, I made the decision this morning to start really scaling back how active I am on X. It's toxic. Moving forward, you'll find content related to my work in studying and analyzing the left and not much else. Now, what the people who constantly attack and harass me are going to do, because I posted this, the people who attack and harass me constantly are going to go, you're leaving Twitter. You're not ever allowed to tweet again. And then every time I actually post something from my account, they're going to say, you said you were leaving Twitter and now you're on Twitter. Why are you on Twitter? Well, the thing is, you have to actually read things. Because when you read it, you're going to see, I said, moving forward, you'll find content related to my work studying and analyzing the left. So we still need to use Twitter. I have 86,000 followers, guys. I cannot give up my Twitter account. What we need to start doing is I have to start interacting with people a lot less. And that's not to say people can't DM me. You can DM me, but if I don't answer you, please understand why. I cannot engage in this stuff anymore because spending all the time in DMs leads to spending time looking at the notifications, leads to spending time in the comments where I'm commenting on other things all the time, and it's just got to stop. Twitter for me has got to basically be a feed where I'm posting content, and I hope that people find that content valuable, and maybe once a day going in and blocking every single asshole in my replies who sees fit to comment, you're fat, you're ugly, stupid, get the fuck off the internet, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm not leaving the platform entirely. I'm just telling you that if you're used to interacting with me on the platform, you're probably not going to see me there a lot, because I need to fucking stop. I can't live in this shit anymore. If you come into my YouTube channel and you're bringing that same energy that is on Twitter, you're just going to get permanently banned, and there's not going to be any discussion, and there's not going to be any, you don't have a free speech channel and I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want and harass you in any fucking way that I want. No. You're just going to get fucking banned. Not doing this shit anymore. No, women are designed to give from their overflow, not from the bottom of the barrel. Seek what gives you energy in your life so you have excess to give. Yeah, that's actually really true. That's actually really true. That's actually true. And hopefully, if I pull myself out of these toxic places that have, quite frankly, been sucking way too much of my energy, I think I'm going to be able to restructure how I'm working to be able to get more done and to produce more of the content that I want to be able to produce. Not that I don't produce a ton of content already. I produce more anti-communist content than anyone on the internet. But, like, there's still more that can be done, and there are important things that I need to spend my time on. And also, that might also honestly extend to, like, YouTube and stuff like that. I might actually start streaming less. I don't know. I'm obviously still going to do Socialism Saturday. That's obviously not going to go away. I might not be streaming every day during the week. I might not be. Maybe I will be. If I have something I want to research, then maybe I'll do it. Maybe I just don't need to stream every day on the internet. Maybe I just don't need to do that. Because every single day I stream on the internet, there's people who watch the stream and then they take screenshots and they get the most horrible, ugly photo of me that they can, and then they put it out on the internet and say, oh my god, Karlyn is doing this, that, and the other. And so what I need people to do, if you want to interact with my content, make sure you're subscribed to my Substack. And you know what? Maybe I'm just going to lean into the Substack more and the Substack chat feature more. Anyone can subscribe to my Substack. It's karlyn.substack.com. Substack doesn't have the same toxicity that Twitter has. Not by a long shot. And so maybe if you want to interact with me and you've been interacting with me on Twitter, maybe we move it over there. Okay? Substack is where I make most of my money anyway. And so that might be a solution to the problem. And it just sucks. It really fucking burns me that these are the things that I have to think about. These are the situations where I have to navigate. Where it's not just about showing up and having interesting conversations and doing good work. It's about constantly navigating the endless barrage of toxicity. So I guess I don't really have anything else to say. Yeah, it is nice when you don't go on Twitter. It is nice. It is nice. I don't get as pissed off because I don't see as many people lying. Kudos for the CQ radio thing last time. Well, thank you. I don't know how much more I'm going to be participating in those spaces, to be honest. And it's not that I don't like the CQ radio. I do like the CQ radio. I just feel like, and you know, to be fair to CQ radio, they've been, I think, more welcoming to me than most of the right-wing environments. But it's also just like, there's toxicity there too. But it sucks. It's kind of like with the CQ radio stuff. With the CQ radio stuff, it's like, again, it's like I adore Adam Green. Adam Green has never done me dirty. Adam Green has never thrown me under the bus. Adam Green has actually, you know what? Listen, man, like, Adam Green has been one of Adam Green has been one of the few people to defend me when people lie about me. Adam Green has been one of the few people who have told people overtly to stop harassing me. He's been one of the very few people that's never engaged in any of this stuff. I really hope he never disappoints me. I really hope he never ends up disappointing me like literally every other person has. We gonna resume Monday Zoom calls anytime soon? I don't know. Like, honestly, there's just a lot of organizing stuff that happens on Mondays, and I don't know why the organizing stuff is happening on Mondays, but I do want to resume the Zoom calls with supporters at some point. I need to think about it, and I need to because I don't think it can happen on Mondays anymore is the thing, because there are just so many there's so many organizing calls that take place on Mondays. Like, part of the reasons I canceled the Monday Zoom calls was because literally every single week for what was it, the last several months, there was some organizing call that was taking place on Monday evenings. And so I do want to bring that stuff back, or have it evolve into a different form. I just don't have a clear vision for how that's going to work yet. So if you miss those calls, I know from people that they do miss those calls. Well, Tuesdays, I mean, I can't do them on Tuesdays either because I have my stream, and then like an hour later, less than an hour later, I have a show with Jennifer. And so it's like you can't do that either. And so yeah, I mean, like, Bitchcraft has basically been forgotten about. So essentially, so I know that people want something like that to come back. I'm aware of the issue. Please just, like, let me just have a little bit of space to figure some shit out, okay? I promise you guys we're going to bring something back. I just need a little bit of space to do it. And listen, man, maybe if I'm offered a little bit of space and maybe we have a little bit of a break, more people will come to those calls and participate, okay? Because, like, it's like I kept trying to tell you guys, I was like, if you guys aren't coming and participating in the calls, then they're going to go away at some point, and no one listened to me. And I was like, all right. And then they went away and everyone's like, where's the calls? Where's the call? I'm like, where were you guys? Like, I told you this was going to happen. But we'll see. I started watching after your appearance on Adam Green's show. You're one of the best guests. I don't know about one of the best guests. He has a lot of great guests, but I really do appreciate him, and I really do appreciate his work. It's like a toxic environment in a way. I like Adam, even though we're not the same ranks, but we need women a lot. You know... See, the thing is, and this is another interesting thing about the CQ spaces, is that, and Amalek, I gotta say, Amalek has honestly been one of the biggest surprises for me. Oh, thank you to the person who just sent the Cash App. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. I think that's Salvatore. Thank you. The thing that Amalek has actually been one of the biggest surprises to me, because I used to have him blocked on Twitter. And he's one of the very few people that I've unblocked that I'm like, I really don't regret this, because Amalek and I have talked about how it's so stupid to do this general woman hating thing, and you can even see in his behaviors, he doesn't hate women. And I think this is true with like a lot of well, I shouldn't say a lot. Many of the people that I've interacted with in the CQ spaces, it's like they may have feelings about women, but they don't hate women. And there's a difference. There's a difference from being annoyed at some of the stupid shit that women do and hating women, no matter what they say and what they do. Now, my general rule of thumb for things is like, the minute that what I say and do doesn't matter, if nothing I say matters and nothing I do matters, and you're just going to make assumptions about me because of the fact that I'm a woman, or because you don't like my weight, or you don't like my haircut, or you don't like my makeup, or you don't like the sound of my voice, or you don't like any of these things, then nothing I say or do matters, so there is literally no reason for us to interact. But those types of people do exist in the CQ spaces. I've just seen many less of them than in other environments. Okay. That's all I really have. That's all I really have to say. So, I don't know. That's really all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk through some things that I'm thinking about in terms of just like restructuring what I do. I'm probably going to take the rest of the day and just work on some stuff quietly by myself and do some writing and things like that. And I might take tomorrow off as well. You know, the whole Catholic Church shooter, that was actually really difficult to cover. Yeah, I went live early, Judy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There are just some topics to cover that take a lot of my energy, and it's just like, this is one of the ones that I think has been kind of just like really soul sucking. And yeah, I know. I actually thought about it. Like, people are coming in the chat now saying, Karlyn, I just got here. It's 5 o'clock. What the fuck? And I'm like, well, maybe I should have waited until 5 o'clock to do this, but I just didn't feel like it. I felt like, I just felt like doing it. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't really have anything else to say. I appreciate all of you that kind of listen to me rant and rave and all that stuff, and I appreciate everyone who showed up to listen. I appreciate everyone who sent it in super chats. You guys are always so generous when I'm about to, like, you guys are always so generous when I'm threatening to quit. Although I didn't threaten to quit this time. I just said I was, like, done with Twitter, but I didn't threaten to quit this time. So if you wanna interact, if you wanna help out, get involved with the community, volunteer for the Center of Left Wing Studies, get in the Center of Left Wing Studies Discord. There's a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, we're creating another massive block list where, like, the block list is coming back. The block list is coming back in a real way. And I just don't want to deal with that shit anymore. There are millions of people in the world. People have always one of the criticisms that people have always made of me is, Karlyn, you go from community to community and you don't really believe anything because you just go from community to community. Well, is that really true? Is that really true? The Center for Left Wing Studies Discord is different, Ninja Artist. It has to be different because I have to... Hang on, I'll show you. You can find how to get in the Center of Left Wing Studies Discord on that page. It's leftwingstudies.com/volunteer. That has to be set up differently than my supporter Discord because it's a nonprofit and I need to keep all the nonprofit stuff separate. Also, I'm going to be doing other things in that Discord that I need to keep it separate because it's a nonprofit, essentially. Thanks, average person. What was I just saying? I was just saying that one of the criticisms, actually this happened in the CQ chat just yesterday. One of the criticisms that people make of me when they're trying to attack me is, you just go around from group to group to group and you don't really believe anything and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, is that true? Is that true? Or is it that I'm kind of constantly searching for people that I think are actually behaving like adults and I think are serious about the topics I care about? And I just keep getting disappointed over and over and over and over and over again. I started out in the conservative establishment and I thought the people there were serious about solving the problem and they never were. So I left. I have no problem leaving groups of people. There are millions of people in the world. You can find your people, but if you find out that you're in a group of people and they're just not the people you thought they were, you thought they were above board, you thought they were intellectually honest, you thought that they cared about the same things as you, and then they show you through their behavior that they don't. I have no problem just leaving that group of people and saying, okay, well, it's me, not you. It's me, not you. I don't want this. I don't feel good with this. And I'm going to go over here now because I think that what I'm going to find over here is going to be a better fit for me than what I found there. So I left the conservatives. I went over to the libertarians. In my heart of hearts, I'm a libertarian. In my heart of hearts, like, I think libertarianism is a beautiful philosophy. Thank you, Mud Chat. I appreciate it. And I was involved in libertarian politics for 2 years. And I tried, man. I tried. And there were a lot of people that I met in libertarian politics that I still keep in touch with to this day. Many of them are supporters of my work. But libertarian politics is incredibly toxic. Like, you guys think the groypers and the women haters are toxic? Oh, let me introduce you to the wonderful world of libertarian politics, which is one of the most toxic and ridiculous places that I've ever been involved with. So I spent a couple years trying to navigate that system and thinking, we can make it better, we can make it better. There were a lot of people who are saying, we can do it better, we can do it better, we can do it better. And then they all just fucking failed. And it became a nauseatingly bad environment. And so I left. And it's not as though I really changed my politics or perspective. See, this is what people say to me. They say, you changed your mind all the time. No, I actually haven't. What I changed my mind about was wanting to put all my time and energy into libertarian politics when it was a toxic, infighting hellhole. So I can maintain my sensibilities and say, you know what, this is probably how the world should work, but I'm not interacting with you people because you people are crazy. And I left. And, I connected with Nick Fuentes and the Groypers at some point, and I adore Nick. And people try to get me to denounce Nick all the time. I will never, ever, 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 ever denounce Nick Fuentes. I won't do it. For a lot of reasons. And it's not because I agree with him on everything. I'm obviously not a Catholic. I'm not a Christian. I disagree vehemently with Nick about that. I will never ever denounce him though. Because I think he's doing something that's admirable. And I think the obstacles that he's been able to overcome are things that he has overcome insurmountable things. And he's on the rise now, and it's his time. However, the Groypers just kept attacking me over and over and over and over and over again. And so am I going to stick around and deal with the Groyper shit? No. I'm just going to go. You don't want me around. You attack me all the time. You shit talk me all the time. You insult me all the time. You don't want me around? Fine. I don't have to be around. There are millions of people in the world. If one group doesn't want you around, and if one group's going to treat you badly, and they're going to make it their mission to make you feel bad about yourself, just leave. Go find another group of people. There is no universe in which I'm going to study Democrats. There is no universe. Do you understand? You obviously don't watch my content. Do you understand how boring Democrats are? Do you understand? You want me to go? You want me to go and do man on the street interviews at Democrat events? I would sooner shoot myself in the face than ever do that. No. That is not going to happen. So I guess the last point I'm trying to make is, like, you shouldn't ever be afraid of walking away from something that is not healthy for you or that makes you feel bad or any of these things. And there's always going to be something else out there for you. And when you close one door, other doors open. And the people that walk into your life and want to be around you and want to talk to you and want to interact with you, they will show up. And so, I guess maybe the biggest change I'm going to make is I'm going to create my own insular community where I'm going to block out as much of this toxic bullshit as possible. And I'm going to trust that the people who want to be with me, who want to interact with me in a real way, not in a bullshit way, in a real way, they're going to show up. And I know I have very dedicated supporters that will always be there and always support what I do, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And we just need to find more people like us. That's it. That is the goal. That is the mission. We need to find more people like us. Because I have to believe these people do exist. But there's so much toxicity that they have to swim in on the internet every day that it's not always easy to find them. So, that's what the goal is. And there's so much to do, and there's so much to cover, that everything else, if I want to be successful at what I want to do, everything else is just going to have to take a back seat to that. And that means giving up things that I like. That means not being as active in things that I like. That means letting go of people that, quite frankly, no matter what I say or do, it will never be good enough. And that's just going to be the way it is. Just remember, the only love and validation you need is from yourself. Love you and keep up being awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And that's very true. You don't need love and validation from anyone else, guys. You just need love and validation from yourself. And if you love yourself unconditionally and you give yourself the validation that you look for from other people, then it does make it easier. It still kind of sucks when people always try to bring you down, though. But the reason they're doing it is because they need people to be at their level. So, I'm going to head out. And I'm going to just go hunker down and just do the kind of nerdy, wonky stuff that I like to do. I'm going to start rifling through and making the infrastructure to track all this college bullshit. And that's what we're going to do. I may stream tomorrow. I may not stream tomorrow. I'm going to play it by ear. We're going to see. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming out. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.